What's up, guys? Hopefully, we are live right now. Let's go double check that we are live. I'm gonna do a quick, say quick, this is probably gonna be like 20, 30 minutes. But we should be live on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and X right here. So just gonna do this video live for fun while I have a little bit of time for a little educational session here. But also going to make a video out of this as well. So I'll get the recording of this entire thing. I'll clip a small piece of it and make a reel, put it on social media, but then also upload the video itself to the YouTube channel as well. That way it is saved there. But I figured I might as well go ahead and do that live. That way it gets the video done for me, kind of kill three birds with one stone here. So let's go check to see if we're live. All right. It looks like we are currently live on the YouTube. Fantastic. Go check X, make sure that we're live. Let's go see. Oh, we are. We're live on X. Hey, appreciate everyone who's already liking and reposting this. Again, I would greatly appreciate it. If you do go ahead and like and repost this, let people know we have started. I'm gonna get this link posted out. Liv, my YouTube manager, absolutely love you. Thank you so much. If you're new to the YouTube channel, please do like and subscribe to it. Sometimes the stream here is better on the YouTube side versus Kick, Twitch, or X. So if you do want potentially the best quality for the stream overall for video and audio, the YouTube side probably is the way to go. So if you are watching this on X, go to my profile or just go to YouTube right now. Go to YouTube, go to your search, and just type in KC Trades 777. I will pop up and you will see me live. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's free to do so. I'd greatly appreciate it. And you can watch the stream there. I'm gonna go ahead and get this link sent out. So again, please do like and repost it if you're on X, because we're about to drop a little bit of sauce real quick. Let me post the X link here in Discord. Let me go get my YouTube link real quick. Maybe. There we go, copy link. And let's go ahead and send this out in the Discord. So, going to cover a few things here. So, a lot of people hear me talk about I'm taking a trade or I see something that is in a squeeze right now. So just because you hear me say the words that something is in a squeeze, that does not necessarily mean that the squeeze is to the upside. So when I talk about something is in a squeeze, I just mean that consolidation leads to expansion. Okay, when you see a stock consolidating within the same area for so long, right? It eventually needs to break out of that consolidation, and that's your expansion, right? So consolidation leads to expansion. During that area of consolidation, as price action is moving, if you are looking to take a trade, right, then you need to, I mean, there's a lot of different things that people use out there for Confluence, right? So I'm not trying to tell you to throw other things out of the window. A lot of things can be used for Confluence. I look at a lot of the internals. I look at Vol-D and Vol-DQ. I watch the tick. I watch the VIX. I watch the net drift, net premiums, looking to see what is the strongest and coming in right now, whether it's calls or puts. Looking at, are we above or below moving averages intraday? Are we hitting a key area of support or resistance? A lot of things come into play, but I just want to cover a few things in correlation to the squeeze. So I'm going to go over a squeeze indicator that is free on TradingView. We're going to cover that. I'm going to give you two indicators that are free on TradingView, how to use them, how to read them. And then we're going to talk about another few indicators that I use along with the squeeze that helps me develop the thesis for which way I believe the squeeze can move. Because there's times where the squeeze indicator can be moving to the upside, and then a squeeze ends up firing downside, right? So not everything is 100% as it seems. The squeeze essentially it's going to happen. And by squeeze, I just mean a big move. All right. So again, a squeeze is nothing more than consolidation leading to expansion. We want to catch the move of the expansion. Okay, that's what we want to do. We want to catch a big move. We're not here to dibble dabble and catch these little baby moves in the fucking market. We are trying to extract as much money as we can from the market. In order to do so, we need to execute trades that provide a low risk, high reward. And when they do set up with a squeeze, I mean, that's just icing on the cake that a big move is going to happen. So, what I'm going to kind of show and teach you today can be used for day trading. It can be used for swing trading as well. I'll see if I can find a few setups with the squeeze indicator. I believe Pepsi is one of them. I recently took some trades on Apple. I took one on UPS, and I did not take Pepsi, but Pepsi had the setup as well for the daily or weekly. I think it's the weekly chart that had the squeeze. But I'm going to go over just a few things for intraday. So, what's up, guys? Appreciate you. Hi, hi, Keith, my brother. Keith, I hope all is well, man. Love you and miss you. Let's go, Casey. Today, Spy Trades was awesome in the last hour. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to use here for a quick example. So, um, we're going to go in to TradingView right now, and this is only for TradingView. Guys, I'm sure there are other scripts out there if you are charting on Thinkorswim or whatever other platform. Maybe I use TradingView. Okay, I find TradingView the easiest one uh, to navigate. So, and I just think it looks the absolute best. So, we're going to cover two indicators, and they're by the same guy on TradingView. All right. So this is something that I teach within my mastermind at the very end. After I teach all of the basics and fundamentals of trading, I go over a chart, two chart setups, and one of them being on TradingView, and it contains this indicator. All right. So we're going to go ahead and cover that. So everybody, if you go to TradingView, all right, go to your search, right, and type in TTM Squeeze Pro. All right, you're going to see this one right here. I already have it favored. You see, it says TTM Squeeze Pro. The creator of this is Beardy Fred. Yes, you heard that right. Beardy underscore Fred. Okay. And it has 6K right here. This is the indicator you're going to click on. All right. So you're going to add this to your chart. Now, right underneath of this right here, I already have it as well. It's by Beardy Fred. It's called multi-time frame TTM Squeeze Pro. So now that we've got the TTM Squeeze Pro right here from Beardy Fred, add that indicator to your chart, and then you're going to type in multi-time frame. Whoa! I can't even type. Time frame TTM Squeeze Pro. Then this is going to be the other indicator. All right, you're going to click on this one. This one's by Beardy Fred as well, 1.2K right here. Add these two to your chart. All right. So the TTM Squeeze indicator is going to be on your sub chart. Okay. And that is going to be this guy right here. It is going to look like this. This is the indicator. All right. And it's going to appear down here on your sub chart. All right. Now, the multi time frame indicator is this box right here on the top right corner of my screen. You see where it says MOM and then SQZ. All right, that's momentum and squeeze. All right, you see how it has all these boxes. Whoopsies. You see how it has all these boxes. Dadgummit TradingView right here. All right, see how it says 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. All right, all these things right here on that bottom row. Okay, that tells you what time frame the stock is currently sitting in a squeeze. That way you do not have to change your time frame with the squeeze indicator on to go check, right? I'm normally on the 5-minute chart. If I'm on the 5-minute chart, if SPY is in a 30-minute squeeze, I wouldn't know that unless I changed it to the 30-minute chart and I had the squeeze indicator turned on right here, right? Or if you use Beardy Fred's multi-time frame TTM squeeze indicator, it will go ahead and tell you right up here because it lights up red. You see how the box for 15-minute and 30-minute right here is lighting up red. That tells you that the stock is in a squeeze right now on that time frame. All right. So those are the two free indicators that you need to have pulled up. All right. So we're going to cover essentially how to look at this indicator and then a few other things to use as Confluence for how to use it. All right. So just like the squeeze up here, it lights up red on the 15, 30-minute, right? So we're on this 5-minute chart for SPY. At some point in time, this was lit up red right here. And if you look at the indicator right here, it lights up these red circles, right? These little red circles, these little red dots right across the middle, right? This is your zero line on what is called the histogram for this indicator. So if you have bars that are moving lower underneath the histogram, price action, you could say, could be moving to the downside. The trend is going lower. We are currently bearish. All right. If you see it start to climb back up and go from red to yellow, cross over the zero line and go to light blue, then you can have a change in trend or the trend is upside. We are looking to be a little bit more bullish right here. So now what we want to see is with these bars either going to the upside or with these bars going to the downside here. All right, we want to see these little red dots. Sometimes they can be orange. Okay, they're either orange or red. That means for medium high or medium compression and high compression. Those are the only two that really matter. So this is going to be orange or red, and that will be a medium squeeze or a high squeeze. It just talks about the compression on the indicator. So we want to see the bars moving in a direction with these red dots. So as you can see, right here on SPY 5-minute chart, it's moving to the upside and a squeeze starts right there, right? That's where the first red dot appears. That is at 150. Then it goes bullish because now we're light blue, we're above the zero line, and then it keeps climbing, 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 and climbing, all getting these red dots. So what does that kind of tell you? The stock is in a squeeze, and as of right now, it is moving to the upside. Does that mean it's going to fire to the upside? Absolutely not. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to fire to the upside, but as of right now, it is currently moving to the upside and it's in the squeeze. You'll notice the red dot goes away right here at 225 because the next dot on the screen is empty. It is black. There is no red dot right here anymore. It goes away, which means the squeeze has fired. It is no longer there. All right. So the consolidation that leads to the expansion. All right. We are now breaking the consolidation and the expansion should be happening according to the squeeze indicator. So let's go look at two things. One, where the squeeze started right here and flipped bullish, which is going to be at 205 and 210. And then let's go look at 240 and 245 when the squeeze is done. So here is SPY, 5-minute chart. Squeeze starts on that candle here. All right. Squeeze flips bullish on this candle here. We come back down, we go back up, we go sideways, we come back up, go back down. Green candle right here on the last red dot. Dot goes away right here on that next candle. Okay, so consolidation, squeeze moving to the upside, squeeze fires and is going away right here, which means we should be expanding and we should be moving. Now, obviously, looking at the chart, we are moving up. So now let's go look at SPY. Look at this. Okay. There's your move to the upside. So SPY, if you look at, and this is where other pieces of technical analysis can come into play. All right. So, and I took this trade, I took it live in Discord, took it on the live stream, took it on the X live stream, took it on the YouTube live stream with Wolf Trading with the guys earlier. So, if you mark this area right here on SPY, you will see this is an area where it bounced at this morning, came up, came back down, they knifed it through, they retested it, and slammed it lower right here. All right. This level that is currently here on SPY, that little blue line, that's previous week low on SPY. It says PWL right there. That is previous week low on SPY. So pretty important area. You'll see it says previous day low right here as well. So if I scroll over, there it is. It automatically marks it right there, the blue line. That's previous day low. This one's previous week low. So SPY was fighting the previous week low that entire time while in that squeeze. Because if you noticed, every single candle that came up here, they smacked it back down, came back up, smacked it back down, went back up again, smacked it back down. It wasn't until this candle here, the first one closed above that zone. All right. I went long. The first time I went long here on this candle, caught the move up. They slammed it back down, came all the way back down to right here, and they wicked my stop. Next candle right here, I took another entry. I got back in. So, and the reason on why I got back in is during that area of resistance, all right there, the one thing SPY kept doing was putting in higher lows. So one of two things were going to happen. Stock's going to go up or down, right? As simple as that. So it's either going to squeeze out of this resistance zone and fire upside, or it is going to break this trend line right here, and now go downside. So I'm like, okay, if I take a call position, which my second entry is on this candle right here. All right, now I want to target at least to the top of this zone and this area right here. Essentially, these two areas were my targets. If I go long on that candle and I risk that same equal low from when I got stopped out before underneath this trend line, and I at least target right at the top of the zone, that is a 1 to 3.3 risk to reward. I got out my full position up here. That is a 1 to 4 risk to reward trade. Absolutely beautiful. All right. So again, squeeze started back here, starts moving to the upside. That same candle, the very first one that finally closed over top of that resistance that it kept fighting right there, that is where the squeeze then fires. Next candle, it goes away. Boom, it's off to the races, catching this really nice move to the upside. All right. So not only using the squeeze indicator there for a little bit of help. All right. Also identifying key areas of support and resistance on the chart, obviously helping me enter and take this trade. I know this area right here is resistance. I know SPY is putting in higher lows right off this trend line, and we're getting into this really tight wedge. One of these two things are going to break, right? Kind of in this little ascending triangle or this pennant, whatever heck you want to call it, right? All we know right now is you have this resistance here, this trend line here. One of the two is going to break, and it's in a squeeze, which means when the break happens, it's going to be a big move. That is what the squeeze indicator is for. It's for telling you, hey, big candles and a big move is potentially about to be coming in here. So you might want to get yourself ready if you're about to be taking any kinds of trades. So develop your thesis, buddy, and figure out which way this stock's about to go. So for this trade, it was very nice because obviously the indicator was climbing to the upside while building in the squeeze. So now I'm going to show you two things that I use alongside of the squeeze indicator that helps me further within my thesis of it, because just relying on the squeeze indicator is not enough. You should never rely on just one indicator. Again, the squeeze could be moving to the upside. It could hit this resistance, start to curl back down. These bars right here, these light blue bars, start to go dark blue. We come back down to the zero line, right? And then the bars change to red, and then it fires downside. Hopefully, be able to play the short by that time, but you've been sitting in that long the whole time right here, and then it gets invalidated. Now you got to flip it the whole 9 yards, right? To just to help with the trade, all right, I'm going to talk about three other indicators, mainly two, but I'm going to show you this other one as well. So very, very simple is your MACD. I use MACD every single day. I love using MACD as an extra little indicator down here. Whenever I see the stock is in a squeeze, I look at the MACD to see if it is currently bullish or bearish. So you'll notice it was bearish going to the downside and it flipped bullish. Whoopsies. Oh, I wanted to do a circle. There. All right. And it flipped bullish here. You'll notice that the bars up here went from red to green. All right. This happens at 120. So SPY, that would be on this candle here, which is the first higher low on the trend line. The first higher low after making these lows right here, SPY pulled back down, create a higher low, got to bounce off of it to push up. That is where the MACD flipped bullish. That's a very good sign. So now later on, because the MACD is already bullish, when the stock's in a squeeze and it starts here, I'm like, okay, what's the MACD saying? I'm like, okay, so right there is where the stock's in a squeeze. I'm like, okay, MACD is bullish right here. I love that. All right, I'm going to add that to my thesis right now. Now, what I do is I look at something called RSI. So RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. There's three numbers on RSI that you need to know. It is 30, 50, and 70. That is it. When the stock hits 30, it can potentially be oversold. Look for buyers to step in, areas of support, and see the stock start to bounce from 30, move up to 50. Okay. And then if it starts moving above 50, if all other things are still positive, you're still making higher lows, your MACD is positive, your squeeze is moving upside, then you want to see the RSI now go from 30 to 50, from oversold to neutral. Now you want to see it go from 50 to 70. So neutral to overbought, right? Because when it gets to 70, when the RSI gets oversold, or sorry, when it gets overbought and it's up at 70, now I want to start looking to exit my position because you can see a pullback on the stop. Sellers can step in. Obviously, if I'm in longs or in calls, I should be taking profits up in that area. So let's go look at the RSI during the time. So RSI went underneath 30 right here at 1235. Let's go look at SPY at 1235. That is this candle here. And it's that candle right there. So after SPY got this nasty move to the downside all morning, RSI hit under 30 right here. Beautiful. Now let's go look at where did it go over 50 on the RSI. 50 is going to be your white line right up here. So it went over 50 there. This is started at 155 to 215 is when it crossed over top of that. Go look at SPY. 215 is when it crossed over, which is this candle right there. So I got in again there. RSI went from oversold 30 above the neutral level to 50 here. Squeeze then fires when this candle right here closes over top of it. So now you have your RSI that went from oversold to neutral, and now it's still climbing over 50 now, which is good, with your MACD, which is bullish, moving higher, while you're also in a squeeze that is also moving higher. So that is one, two, three things right there across the board on these three indicators that are all leading me to believe price wants to move higher. And we are in a squeeze, which means a big move or a big candle should be coming to get us out of this slow price action and expand and give us volatility, right? Bigger price action. So one, two, three all line up right there at the same time. I take my entry on SPY, and then the outcome is now this move right there, which looking at SPY for the entire day of price action, that was the largest move of upside right there. I don't know why it went sideways like that. Jesus. There we go. That was the largest move of upside on SPY the entire day, was right there. And all it was nothing more than this squeeze telling me that a big move was coming. So again, I don't use the squeeze indicator just as a one indicator to take this trade. You need other things of Confluence at this time as well. So two other things to add to it are RSI and MACD. When I see all three of those things moving in the same direction while building that squeeze, for me, that is almost a no-brainer. I should be looking to take this trade. And lo and behold, you get paid very, very nicely today on this trade. So not only this is SPY right here. All right, let's go to QQQ. Here's QQQ today. Now let's pull up the same three indicators. QQQ. Squeeze flip bullish here. MACD has already been bullish. And at that time that the squeeze flips bullish, MACD is still bullish and positive. RSI went under 30 here, the same time SPY did, and bounced. It hits the 50 line on this candle here. They slam it back down, and it crosses over your 50 line at 220, going into 225, which is this candle here. Sure as shit, that's the same thing as SPY, right? It's the exact same thing as SPY. It was fighting this freaking resistance the whole time. And then boom, one, two, three things right there all line up. And then what happens after the 225 candle closes above the resistance? All three of these are moving up in the same direction with that squeeze. It then fires at 230. What's the outcome on QQQ? Big sticky with the blicky, yeah, right? Big move to the upside. So that's SPY, that's QQQ. Last but not least, the Russell. When I took this trade, I said out of the three, IWM will print the biggest move for the squeeze upside. If you look at the candles here on IWM, there was not a single red candle until all the way up here. This thing did not want to freaking stop. So now, again, consolidation leads to expansion. Look at this bullshit down here. What is that? Well, who wants to trade this? Nobody wants to trade this kind of price action, right? Not a single person wants to trade this kind of price action here, back and forth, back and forth. It's not until what? Look at the squeeze indicator. Remember I said it can be orange and red? There it is. IWM has some orange ones right here, flip bullish, fired here. Another thing that I like to do for RSI, which I really do like, is divergence. So even when the stock price today was going lower right here, your RSI was actually putting in some bullish divergence, which I really like to see when I'm trying to snipe a reversal. So in this case, IWM has been selling all day. So during this time of it getting a huge move to the downside, it's just the kind of person that I am. Even if I catch the move to the downside, I'm always telling myself, if buyers step in and I want to trade this reversal, right? I need to kind of snipe this entry, right? I don't want to get ran over. So I need to wait for a few things to line up. One thing that I really love to see when I see stock price moving down like this, looking at the RSI during that time, and there's bullish divergence on it, I really like seeing that, especially at the bottom of a downtrend, which leads into a squeeze that's moving upside. That's the reason on why, in my opinion, looking at SPY, Qs, and IWM, when the move and the squeeze happened to the upside, I believed IWM was going to get the bigger move to the upside. Also, because the orange dots on there mean high compression. So I imagine the squeeze would have been a little bit more significant on IWM. So if you look at IWM, went under 30 multiple times and kept putting in higher lows on the RSI, right? Putting in bullish divergence as stock prices moving lower. Then again, same thing. MACD flip positive here. Your squeeze is building and it fires on this candle here. So now let's go look at MACD and RSI. MACD, very positive. RSI just went above the 50 neutral level. It ripped straight through it right here. So now that is 1, 2, 3 things again, all lining up together, letting you know this is definitely more bullish than bearish right here. And again, consolidation, we're going into expansion, we are in a squeeze. Which way do you want to play this? Which way do you want to trade this? Everything else is telling me bullish and going to the upside. So again, IWM, previous day low was the resistance that it kept fighting, where it rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. That is the little blue line going across the chart right there that says PDL, previous day low. So zoom out, look left. There it is, right there. All right, so it knifed through it here this morning, went lower, and then it kept back testing it, and it kept rejecting that same area over and over and over again until one 5-minute candle, one single candlestick, finally closed above that resistance. Same thing as SPY and Qs, 100% the same identical setup. And then looking at the indicators below for the squeeze, identical, the exact same setups. Does not matter if you took SPY, Qs, IWM, SPX, RTY, MES, ES, MNQ, NQ, doesn't freaking matter. Every single one of those charts had the identical setup to go long. Doesn't matter which one you traded or all three of them. If you want a triple dip in SPY, Qs, IWM, trade all three at the same time, right? Or just go heavy and lay into it. Essentially, that's what I did on SPY and mainly on MES. So that is those are the things that I look for to catch big moves intraday. One other thing that I use, which is this indicator at the very top of the chart. Let me drop these down. This is an indicator by Satty. If you guys do not know who Satty is, I recently made a post about Satty. This is one of his indicators. So this is called Sattyphase oscillator. It is a free script, all right, by Satty, sattyland.com, right here. There is Satty, same exact name. You can follow him on X as well. So you can get all of his indicators for free from his website, sattyland.com. All right. So this is the indicator. And as you can see, it even says, whoopsies, I'm in the way. You can't see that. Let me move my thing. Let me see if this works. Oh, shit. I messed it up. Gosh dang it. Can I move? Oh, I can't do that. Dadgummit. Let me see if I can move. No, it won't show it. Dadgummit. There it is. All right. Right there. See where it says the word compression? All right. So compression, consolidation leading to expansion. So it puts this on there. See the little purple lines that show up right there? That's what you want to see. All right. It's kind of your compression. So if you go look at the indicator, this is it. So purple lines right here tell you compression. So you want to see red, purple, green for bullish, and then vice versa for bearish. So you'll see as it's building this compression and it crosses over its zero line right here, and then it goes away right there and flips green. What do you know? That is IWM's 235 candle. So 235 candle is this one here. Go to your squeeze indicator. 235 is that single black dot that is right there on the chart, letting you know that the squeeze that it was building is now firing to the upside. This is it. So it lines up perfectly right there above the resistance with this compression and above the zero line, and it is moving higher. So that is another great indicator and tool to use. Essentially, it kind of looks at and measures the same thing. It's just extra confluence overall in the chart. So again, that is Sattyphase oscillator. That is another free indicator on TradingView. I use all of these things every single day when I trade, and it is one of the best things that I've ever done and continue to look at when I trade because it helps me catch really big moves that have a lower risk and higher reward trade setup, because usually when the moves that happen, obviously with it being a squeeze, is relatively a larger move, which would be bigger than the move to the downside that would potentially hit my stop loss. So those are those are the three charts from today with SPY, Qs, and IWM. Again, those are all of the indicators. TTM Squeeze Pro, okay? This one right here by Beardy Fred. And then the multi-time frame. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. I want to show you how that works. It's kind of simple, but we'll just go ahead and cover it. So currently looking at SPY. Remember I said it lights up red for whatever time frame that it's in a squeeze. You see how it says currently 15 and 30 minute is in a squeeze. That means if I go to SPY and I go to the 30-minute chart, this is SPY right here, 30-minute chart. Go to the squeeze indicator. Look, it is lighting up red, telling me that SPY was in a 30-minute squeeze going into the after-hour session on TradingView, and it was moving to the upside. So which is where it closed at. Very nice. I don't even know what SPY is doing after hours, but MACD was bullish at that time. Your RSI had just got back above 50 as well. So I'm curious now, when did SPY end up moving higher than SPY green after hours? Let's see. This was at 6:30 going into 7. So we're 7 p.m. Let me see. Do I have the right one on here? There we go. SPY, 30-minute. Oh, yeah. So SPY fired the squeeze and continued higher, only up to about 689. So very small so far. And SPY is not even doing too much after hours. It might still be in the squeeze. I don't know if it is or not. Weeble doesn't have the obviously the same indicator right here. So, but that'll show you that the stock was currently in a squeeze right here. Look, we can actually do this on the chart right there. So SPY was in a 30-minute squeeze today to the downside. The squeeze started at 10 a.m., which is that green candle here. That green candle here, and I end up shorting SPY 3 different times this morning. All right. That first candle here, obviously you'll see the support is right across right there, the white line. Next 30-minute candle closes above it, squeeze, still moving lower. Next 30-minute candle makes a new low of day, but still closes above the support, squeeze, still going lower. Next candle here, red candle, finally closes underneath the support, makes a new low of day, and then squeeze fires on the next candle, and then this is the nasty red candle right here. So that would be your move to the downside right here from the squeeze moving lower. And then if you go look at your MACD during that time, your MACD had flipped bearish at 10:30, which is right here on that red candle, right there. Go look at your RSI. Your RSI actually opened up right at 50 that morning, and it was already underneath 50 at 10 a.m. and was moving lower, which is the exact opposite of the other trade. You have 30, 50, 70. If you want to be short, you go 70, 50, 30. So now we want to take the stock price from 50 down to 70, or sorry, from 30. So now, if you look at that downside move, 1, 2, 3, squeeze, fires downside, puts, get paid. Fantastic. RSI goes under 30, and then look at that. A nice reversal back to the upside. No squeeze ever set up for the 30-minute, but just showing you how RSI prints a nice move right here when it gets oversold to exit your shorts potentially because the stock is oversold. And like I said, you can get an area of buyers to step in there at that area of support, which that's exactly what happened afterwards. But that is the exact opposite that you would want to see to go bearish with the squeeze that is forming right there on the 30-minute chart. Absolutely beautiful. Now, go look at Satty's indicator here. Remember the other one was red, purple, green. Now that we're looking at short here because of the squeeze, the MACD and RSI are all moving lower. It was green pre-market. It opened up. It broke underneath the zero line, went purple. And then beautiful started to move lower and it flipped red here. And all was nice for the puts for the downside move. Boom, 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 boom. Right. So absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous price action today. Except for the very start of the day. Very start of the day on SPY right here. This shit. Until it finally obviously broke. This right here was annoying right there until we finally broke. And then look, broke down, retested it, squeeze fired, full move. And then squeeze set up on a smaller time frame and went back up. Right to the same spot. Hey, appreciate you, Liv. The Satty's indicator is not being shown on TradingView. The other three are. You have to go to Satty's website. So sattyland.com. You got to go to his website. So go to sattyland.com, and that's where you can download his scripts for Thinkorswim or TradingView. So all of his indicators work. He has a bunch of other indicators. Satty has a pivot ribbon, which is a really nice, pretty indicator. Right here. Has a really nice, pretty indicator. You'll see that it kind of just goes with trend, right? So as long as it's orange and red, trend is downside until it flips bullish to green and blue, which is right here, which again, another helpful tool just overall. This uses nothing but moving averages, right, to help identify trend, lower lows, lower highs until it eventually flips after making higher lows and the trend goes from red to green right here. Look at that. If you just look at everything else that we used for the freaking entry right here, this pivot ribbon from him was flipping and showed you that we were getting a change in direction and went from bearish to bullish right here as well. So Satty has a great basket of indicators. So you have to go to his website, sattyland.com, and you can download them for Thinkorswim or for TradingView. All the other ones that I covered right here, the TTM Squeeze Pro, the MACD and RSI, these ones are only on the ones that I use are only on TradingView. I'm sure you can find very, very similar ones on Thinkorswim. 100%, I'm sure they have a squeeze indicator, MACD and RSI. They absolutely should. So if you are a Thinkorswim person, you can absolutely probably replicate this entire setup onto Thinkorswim. Are you using an indicator for previous day, high, low, week? I am. So that is going to be this indicator here. This is called Price Action Concepts by LuxAlgo. So Price Action Concepts, this is an all-in-one indicator. And when I mean all-in-one, I mean all-in-one, where You can have it do signals for break of structure, change of character. You can have it do marking swing highs and swing lows. You can have it show order blocks, which is what I use. You can have it show you trend lines, patterns, pattern zones, equal highs and lows. I can mark those out, liquidity grabs. You can have it mark fair value gaps, inverse value gaps. Um, you can have it mark premium discount equilibrium zones. Essentially, that's resistance, your midpoint, and support, which I really like the equilibrium zone. It's usually about the 50% retracement of the previous range. And then right here, it says highs and lows MTF, daily, weekly, monthly. I click all three of those boxes, and then I have them put blue on here. And those are all of the levels that it marks PWL, PDL, PDH, PWH, and all of those will automatically be marked on there. You can have it draw automatic fib retracements on every chart that you're on. You can do just about everything in this one indicator. It's amazing. So you'll see right here, there's your equilibrium zone right here. Here's your discount zone. Top zone is your premium zone. And then all of these are your order blocks. I use them as targets. So there's one. I have one right here. And then you have two more right there and right there, which line up perfectly with where previous week low support and the resistance area was, and then also previous day low, that area is right there. So that's just kind of marking out double confluence. This is a key spot, as well as this being a key spot. And then I use Lux Algo volume profile with node detection, which is going to be this stuff right over here, which you'll see that's exactly where that was my full target, was right here on SPY. And that's kind of where it closed at after hours. And that's my setup. This is my main setup that I trade with and use every single day. So usually I'll throw on my 9 and 21 EMA and use a 50 as well, just because I use these three across all time frames. I do have MMK high and low zones, which automatically marks the support zones. You'll see the little green box that just showed up right there, right where previous day low and week lows. It just highlights that entire zone in green versus having two levels. And then I have my own algo as well. So you'll see this morning, printed a nice short. It tried to go long out of the gate, rejected the resistance, and then it flipped short, went down, and then all of these little dots that you see right here, this is telling you that the previous short signal from right up here caught the move downside. It's still there and setting up again, and it caught the move down to here. And then you'll see that it caught the new low of day, and then no more little dots on top of my candles. And then you will see that the algo went long here. That is my entry, which is right here, and caught the move to the upside. And then it looks like it caught a little bit of a short right here after hours. I really don't care usually about the pre-market after hours or the first 15 minutes of the day from 9:30, 9:30, 9:45. All the volatility that happens right at the first 15 minutes, and then obviously pre-market after hours. None of that I really care about. Usually it's post 10 a.m. going into the 4 p.m. session. So algo performed very well today. But that's my setup. That's my spiel on how I use this entire chart setup right here with, again, the TTM Squeeze Pro, MACD, and RSI. Those three things line up together in a direction, whether it's upside or downside. Just put that in the back of your mind. Develop a thesis on the chart, what you're seeing on there, what other tools you're constantly using. Again, looking at the internals. Those are things that I look at as well for Confluence. During this time right here as well, I look at the net premiums and the net drift from quant data. And then during that time, your calls went over top of your puts. They started to climb up all afternoon, and then puts started to fall down. It started to get really interesting around 2:15, and then they actually crossed around 235, 240, which your 235, 240 is right there. So during this time of these higher lows, your call premiums were actually increasing on SPY and the put premiums were going lower. Again, another good sign overall for developing a thesis on a trade. If I'm seeing one, two, three reasons to go long right here, I'm looking at the internals. I'm like, well, put premiums are falling down right now and calls are cruising up. So that looks good. And then 15 minutes later, calls are now exceeding and crossed over the line of puts, and puts are falling off even more. That's a great sign. And then that gives us a nice uh, move to the finish line. So again, just a bunch of different tools I think that can benefit hopefully a lot of other traders and people. And then maybe this is a lot of new information for some people as well. Again, not telling people to change their strategy or whatever it is, just kind of showing a very simple and easy strategy I think that you can set up on your chart. Um, and for what it's worth, I've been using that same exact setup on TradingView for about almost 3 years now, and I still will continue to use it and look at it every single day whenever I'm trading. It helped me out very well at the end of today to catch this nice move on SPY, Qs, and IWM again, and even had a short on a higher time frame squeeze to catch the downside move on SPY. And I made money in both directions today on SPY, downside and upside. So that's it for me, guys. I appreciate it. Someone said, is it an invite only script for Lux Algo? Lux Algo, it's a paid indicator. It's a toolkit. So it's just like quant data. I have access to quant data to look at like the net premiums and stuff like that. Um, it's from a company that sells all that stuff. So I have access to quant data stuff along with Lux Algo. I don't know how much Lux Algo charges for access to all of their indicators. Lux Algo has a bajillion. They have indicators for, I mean, however, let me just type in Lux. Look, this is Lux Algo. Look at all these indicators that they have. Look at this. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. It's still going. It's still going. Okay, I think that's it right there. Look at that. Absolutely insane. That's probably, I don't know, a couple hundred. I don't know, 200 indicators. I don't freaking know. But they have everything. They have one called Smart Money Concepts, which is a great one. They have another one called Signals and Overlays. I think Signals and Overlays is a pretty good one. This is what it looks like right here. Very nice. Very similar to my algo kind of this morning. It kind of printed like a long, a short, a long, and then another short. Um, and then all these candles are red, telling you that trend is downside. And then look, it printed a long signal right here. Boom. Line goes green, looking more bullish now than bearish after this downtrend. And then look at this. Nice move to the upside. You see that little X right there? Look at that. That means take profit. Ain't that pretty cool? So this is a really cool indicator too. That one's called Signals and Overlays by Luxalgo. So again, I don't know how much it costs to get access to all of their stuff. I think it's actually relatively cheap. And they're absolutely freaking amazing with what they offer. Again, hundreds of different indicators. So definitely check it out. But please keep a copy of this. My phone is dying. This will be saved on X no matter what, and my YouTube channel no matter what, all my lives for my videos. I am going to clip part of this video as well and make a short reel for it, but also upload the entire thing as well to my regular videos on my YouTube as well, not just under the live section. So it will be everywhere. You'll be able to have it for future reference. Thank you for taking the time to teach us, Casey. Absolutely. So I don't know how many of you guys actually came in for, let me go check. About 1,000. So I appreciate you guys. So that's it for me. Again, I appreciate the 1,000 of you that decided to tune in on this fine Wednesday evening. Hopefully anything that I taught you from this chart setup here can help you moving forward. It helped me a lot today. with trading SPY, Qs, and IWM, and also futures. So hopefully this can benefit some other people moving forward as well. So that's it for me, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Mikey B. Appreciate you. Thank you. You're welcome. Keith as well. Yeah, of course. Keith is a badass. I love Keith. Liv, I appreciate you. Thank you for holding it down on the YouTube side. So, all right, guys, I'm headed out. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I'll be live tomorrow in the Discord like normal for the live streaming and live trading over there with the squad. I will be a guest speaker on the Wolf X Spaces as well, and then I'll jump over to the YouTube live stream as well in the back half of the session, just hanging out with the guys over there. But obviously, I live in my Discord. That is where I'm live streaming and live trading and posting everything that I'm doing day in and day out with the team over there, myself and a handful of other great analysts for options and futures. Great conversation. We got what, 9,363 members over there in the Discord. So if you want to come hang out in the Discord, you can click the link in my bio. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Just come hang out, see if it's a place for you. If it's not, it's not. If it is, then fantastic. I encourage everyone to get involved within a good trading community that you connect with and can grow with to better your trading moving forward. If it's mine, it's mine. If it's somebody else's, somebody else's. It doesn't matter, but take advantage and get involved in a good trading community. So we do have a 7-day free trial for people to just come check it out and see if it's the right place for them. And you can use code KC30 right now to get 30% off anything. So if you do use the free trial to come hang out in the Discord, make sure at checkout you input the code KC30. That way, if you do decide to stay, it takes 30% off. So don't forget to do that. So, all right, guys, love and appreciate you all. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.